Hey, it's Random Code here, and today we're going to discuss functions in Kotlin. And it's going to be a very short video showcasing an example and going through all the elements of how a function is constructed in Kotlin. So I have created a very simple function, which simply is named addNumbers, takes in two parameters, two integers, it then simply returns these numbers added together, and that's it. So very simple. And what we might note when building functions in Kotlin, we first need to define that it is a function by using fun, the func keyword. And for now, it's not relevant, but by default, all function in Kotlin is going to be public, which is going to be more interesting later on when discussing classes and visibility modifiers. But just for now, note that we create a function. It is just some kind of box would allow us to have an input and an output. And if we go through all the basic components, we first have, as mentioned, function name, then the name of the function. We then here have the parameters, so the input variables of a function. And for each of them, we need to define a name of this input and the type. So in this case, I have a number a of type int and a number b of type int. And then after a colon, we then also defines what is the return type of our Kotlin function. So in this case, we're returning an integer, which makes sense. We're taking in an integer a, integer b, adding them together and returning them. So relatively simple. And from inside this area, if we want to use the function, we can simply do just print to the console to show what it works, but we can do our numbers, give it some kind of parameter. So let's do 10, 5, for example. And because we're using IntelliJ, it's showcasing the name of the input parameters to make it a bit more clear. If we then run it, as expected, it's going to be returning 15. So relatively simple. Now let's say we want to change our function so it does actually not return anything, but what we in Java will think of as void. We could also do void here. We then need to define that void is nullable, but the default behavior in Kotlin is that we would use something called unit, which is like the base return type in Kotlin. And right now, of course, we're gonna be a bit confused because we're not returning nothing, we're returning stuff. So now we could change this to simply do println and our numbers. So now we have changed our function, still a function called addNumbers. Let's again do 10 and 3 this time, for example. addNumbers, we still take a number a as int parameter, first parameter, number b as second parameter, still ints, but we're now returning unit. Which then clearly showcases that it's not returning anything. And it still works. And let's see, IntelliJ would also just remove it. So if we actually do not want to specify exactly that returning nothing, we can simply just not return anything. Which, when we come from a perspective of Java, makes everything a bit more clean. So that is very much the very basic concept of functions. So if you enjoyed this quick showcase, please leave a like and subscribe, and I wish you all a wonderful day.